the campaign that she's running is by the people and for the people. Representative Gabbard is not taking any donations from corporations, lobbyists, or PACs. So please help me welcome Representative Tulsi Gabbard.
Being Saudi Arabia's bitch is not putting America first. I want to share with you a headline that popped up on my phone just as we were pulling up here that I'm very concerned about. And it speaks to what happens when we don't have a government of, by, and for the people. Here's the headline, CNN popped up. Trump says U.S., quote, locked and loaded, depending on verification of attack on a Saudi oil field. Locked and loaded. I'm going to read the full quote to you because I think you'll find it as deeply disturbing as I do. Trump said, quote, Saudi Arabia's oil supply was attacked. There is reason to believe that we know the culprit. We're locked and loaded depending on verification, but are waiting to hear from the kingdom as to who they believe was the cause of this attack and under what terms we should proceed. There are so many things wrong with what he said. We, the United States, with the strongest military in the world, are locked and loaded, he says. We are waiting to hear from the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, as to who they believe was the cause of the attack, and under what terms we, the United States of America, should proceed. As a soldier, I can tell you this pisses me off. But Trump has been very transparent and laid very clear what we have known for a long time now. Trump is bending the knee to the interests and the wishes of Saudi Arabia and their kingdom, and using my brothers and sisters in uniform to carry out their wishes. To carry out their wishes. When I took my oath of enlistment, I took an oath to protect and defend our country, to protect and defend our Constitution, to protect and defend the American people, to serve the interests of our country and our national security. And to hear this kind of statement coming from our Commander-in-Chief dishonors that promise and that great sacrifice that our men in uniform, men and women in uniform, and their families make every single day. When I put out that tweet, I couldn't find any other word to describe what he is doing to our service members and to our country. We need a commander-in-chief who will put the interests of the American people and our country first. Not the interests of Saudi Arabia, not the interests of any other country. They've been trying to go to war with Iran for a really long time. And they have been taking action and laying down the groundwork to do so, pushing us to the point where we are literally right now on the brink of a war with Iran. Trump says we are locked and loaded, and I believe him. I believe him. Here's what is at stake. A war with Iran would be far more devastating than anything that we ever saw in the war in Iraq that I served in. Would be far more costly. It would take more American lives, the lives of our sons and daughters, our men and women in uniform, our brothers and sisters, moms and dads, people who are deployed right now at the instruction of this administration. This is a war that would not be contained within the boundaries of the country of Iran. It would be a regional war. And it would be a war that would create far more of a refugee crisis than anything that we've seen across the Middle East. It would cause more death and destruction and pain and suffering for the people, both in Iran and around the region. Trump is saying he's locked and loaded. Iran's response was, we didn't do this, but if you want to come to war with us, we are ready for war. This is where, as we're sitting here tonight, we are one spark away from a disastrous, costly war. Haven't we had enough? Haven't they had enough?
Yes.
This would be yet another in a long string of unnecessary wars of choice that unfortunately our country has waged, and this has crossed both Democrat and Republican administrations. Wars in other countries overseas to overthrow authoritarian dictators. Wars that have taken so many of American lives, that have caused so much pain and suffering across the region, and have cost us as taxpayers over $6 trillion. Just since 9/11 alone, over $6 trillion. Where does that money come from? Healthcare. The healthcare needs that we have within our education system. Whether it's textbooks or computers or good pay for our teachers. You talk about infrastructure needs, basic infrastructure needs, clean water, clean air. There's just not enough money to take care of our people here at home. There's not enough to rebuild our communities and fill those needs here at home. And worse yet, these wars have made our country less safe. These are unnecessary wars that take such an incredible toll, that bear such an incredible cost. Again, thank you so much. Tulsi2020.com if you want more information.